The Teapot Dome Case. A senatorial investigation follows in the wake of the disposal of a naval oil lease in California. Bowman Johnson of Fall Ranch, New Mexico. Senate Committee Member Walsh of Montana. Secretary of the Navy, Denby. The committee in session finds Walsh questioning Will Hayes, and Hayes' testimony proves vital in the case. Initial bombshell is thrown by Harry Sinclair, oil magnate, who indicates his willingness to testify, but later refuses. Owen J. Roberts is appointed government counsel, whose target in the investigation is former Secretary of the Interior, Albert B. Fall. Fall, with Edward L. Doheny suspected of bribery, leaves Supreme Courthouse in Washington, D.C. It is the former secretary, on the right here, who is to be convicted of accepting Doheny's bribe of $100,000 for the leasing of the Elks Hill Naval Oil Reserve.
In the latest fashion of the year, voyagers waved fashionable farewell. The seagoing male wore cap, white shirt, striped jacket, and light-colored trousers, and wired home for more money. And peacetime warfare was confined to pillow fights. As evidence, here are a couple of tars being feathered. Dining at the captain's table was the highlight of the journey, even back in 1926. Notice the lady now smokes, and the captain wears his World War I award. There was a Spanish influence in attire at the fancy dress ball. And these onlookers watched a gathering of dancers dressed in the flowing robes and colors of peacetime Spain, as vacationers of 1926 had fun on the bounding Main. The millinery show in Chicago back in 1926. It's been revived since, but it still makes you think of Clairvaux, the Charleston, and flappers. So do those low-waisted, high-skirted dresses. These were the halcyon days for millinery before the threat of hatlessness. The jet-trimmed satin helmet looks like a fugitive from the football gridiron. So does the model.
Miles and Marathon. It's April 20th, 1926, and here's famed Boston Marathon in early stages, with all 88 starters still in the race. But as time and the yards go by, many of the early pacemakers drop out, and into lead in Boston streets goes John Miles, crossing the line a winner. 18 years old, Miles wins first marathon he entered. Second, behind young Miles, is Alvin Stenros of Finland, who won grueling race year before. Mrs. G. Henry Stetson has supportive gallery at Marion, Pennsylvania Golf Links, October 2nd, 1926, as she tees off in finals of Women's National Golf Tourney. Her opponent is Mrs. W.D. Goss, and on 35th green, two golfing mothers bring match to a close. 3 up and 1 to go. Winner is Mrs. Stetson, shown here with her 2 daughters. Bringing up children doesn't deter Mother Stetson from bringing home the bacon, too. It's tennis again. This time the Davis Cup match is in Boston. America's Bridges and Williams beat Francis Bruno and Crochet in the doubles. It's a spirited match, with Bridges and Williams turning on the heat to fall to victory. British ambassadors are Esme Howard and the winners. San Francisco Splash. It's September 6, 1927. Bad day for 2 world swimming records at Far Western Championship meet. First record buster is backstroke expert George Kojak of New York Boys Club, as he thrills excited crowd watching him dash to new record for his event. Time, 2 minutes, 40 and 2/5 seconds. George Kojak, king of the backstroke artists. And following the New Yorker's lead, Johnny Weissmuller knifes through pool to set his startling record for 100-yard freestyle. Johnny Weissmuller, destined for motion picture fame.
Let's go south in 1927 to watch Pete Desjardins, national diving champ, in a full twist. Pete in a layout half gainer followed by a jackknife version of the same dive. The swan dive. Champion for 3 years, Pete now does the difficult 2.5. Then the front 1.5 with a new twist.